Hi students, on previous video we discussed about the fourth chapter of our unit 3. It is about impact of external influences. So today we are going to continue the other part of impact of external influences. On last video we discussed about the pestle analysis and also the impact of external influences, how it affects for the different businesses and the different sections of the businesses in different manners. We discussed about that, the way the external influences affect towards a business. So today we are going to pay our attention to it, another new subtopic. It is about the structure of markets. You know that different organizations compete within different marketplaces. For an example, some marketplaces are very competitive, and there are another marketplaces where they are not so competitive when comparing to other marketplaces. Mainly we can identify two types of marketplaces. There are competitive marketplaces and uncompetitive marketplaces. Under uncompetitive marketplaces, we can identify monopoly and oligopoly type markets. So you may heard these two types of words in economics as well. Anyhow, now I am going to discuss about the structure of markets. You can see a table. In this table, I have included 5 columns. The first column shows about the market type. The second one is about the number of firms in the marketplace. And the third column represents about the product type or special features in that marketplace. And the fourth column explains about the barriers to enter and exit from the marketplace. And the last column, the fifth one, explains about the control over price. Under market type, first pay our attention to competitive markets. In a competitive marketplace, we can identify a large number of suppliers. In a competitive marketplace, there are so many businessmen. So, they are providing products where they have close substitutes. In a competitive marketplace, we can identify large number of producers, and also all these companies, all these organizations provide products where they have close substitutes. And when we pay our attention to the barriers to enter and exit from these markets are very low, because anytime any organization, any entrepreneur can enter to the marketplace and exit from the marketplace. So, here we can identify that the control over price for each organization is very little. So, sometimes we can see that they don't have a control. They don't have a huge control to the price. It means they cannot create a huge impact toward the price. They cannot decide the price. So we call them as price takers. They take the price from the marketplace. And when we pay our attention to the next market type, we can identify two types of uncompetitive markets. The first one is monopoly market and the second one is oligopoly. In monopoly, we can identify there are most of the time there is only single company, single supply, single provider in that good, and that product is a special product, and the barriers to enter and exit from this market is very high, and the control over price is also very high, so that we know we try to highlight that the control over price here is as the monopoly companies are price makers. They are making the price. In competitive market, I told you that the companies are price takers. They are providing their products and services according to the price in the marketplace. But in monopoly, as they are the single provider of that special product, they decide the price of that product. So we call them as price makers, not takers. For an example, think about the railway transport facility. In Sri Lanka, railway transport facility provided by Sri Lankan government. In some countries, we can identify such services provided by huge companies. So they have the monopoly power because they are the only one company who are providing that special service. No other competitors. So they provide a special type of product. And when we consider about the next type, it is about oligopoly. In oligopoly type marketplaces, we can identify only very few suppliers, very few companies. In oligopoly, there are only few companies. When comparing to competitive market, very few, but when comparing to monopoly market, there are more than one company, 4 or 5 companies likewise. But when we consider about the speciality of this oligopoly type marketplaces, we can identify all of these companies, all of these organizations are interdependent. Why is that? Look at the page number 26 in your textbook. They clearly explain this special feature of oligopoly with a clear example. Listen for this. For an example, in an oligopoly market, if one business gains an extra 4% of the marketplace, other must have lost the 4% between them. That is why they usually explain it as there are high barriers to entry in this type of marketplaces. So I told you that they are interdependent with each other. For an example, consider about the channels in Sri Lanka. There are only few TV channels in Sri Lanka. Most of the time you know that there are only 5 to 6, 7 TV channels. What are they? Swarnavahini, Sirasa, Hiru TV, Derana, likewise only few channels. There are no 30-50 channels, only few. No? So, in an oligopoly market, we can identify very few companies and they have a huge power regarding that marketplace. So it is really difficult to enter and exit for an oligopoly market as well. And the next important thing is control over price. When we consider about the control over price in an oligopoly market, we can see that they tend to remain stable. And I hope that this table will be a mind map for you to remember the structure of these marketplaces, because I have clearly shown the speciality and the differences of these marketplaces through this table. So, note down all these features in your textbook. Previously also I mentioned that the things which I was included in each and every slide, you need to note down them in your textbook, because it will be easy for you to remember all these things in your mind. Okay, let's focus our attention toward the next subtopic. It is about the impact on businesses of a change in competitive environment. Previously, we identified some different types of markets according to their competitive level. Now, we are going to pay our attention to identify the impact on businesses of a change in competitive environment. So, what do you think about a competitive business environment? What are the changes that we can identify within a competitive environment? Think about it. Look at this table. In this table, I have highlighted 3 major types of changes which we can identify within a competitive business environment. And also, I have highlighted the impact of each type of change toward the businesses in that marketplace. Look at the first change. In a competitive business environment, we can find that some new entrants. In some seasons, in some periods, we can identify that new entrants, new companies are participate to the marketplace. Then what will happen? What is the impact of that change toward our business activities? Then it increased the competition in that marketplace. Now there is another competitor for us. So it increased the competition. Look at the next change. Introducing new products to the marketplace. New products can be introduced by a new competitor, new organization, or sometimes from an existing organization. So anyhow, when a company introduces new product, what will happen? What is the impact on that activity towards our business? If they launch a new product which is closely substitute for our existing product, then we need to lower the price of existing product of our company, because people are they are trying to buy new products. They try to test the new products, in the marketplace. Most of the time, we are also willing to buy some new products and services. So then, if that new product is a close substitute for our existing product, then we need to lower the price of existing product. And the next thing is, if it is not only a substitute, but also if it is a unique product, then we need to invest more money on marketing campaigns, because we need to promote our product than our competitors. Then we need to invest more money on marketing activities, marketing campaigns. Okay, think about consolidation. It is the next change. In consolidation, we can identify that businesses in the marketplace get merged or acquired by another company. Simply, in business, consolidation or amalgamation is the merger and acquisition of small companies into few large companies. So what will happen when companies get merged, or if a huge company acquire other small companies in that marketplace? What will happen for the other organizations, other companies in that marketplace? It is also a huge chain which create a huge impact toward the businesses. Most of the time, through consolidations, number of businesses maybe get fail, so that the companies need to pay their more focus on product development and diversifying their business activities. Also, they try to remove the unnecessary expenses. It means cost cutting. The first thing, need more focus on product development. Here I have mentioned that under the impact on the business. Why we need to pay our more attention towards product development? We need to do some research and development. We need to provide some innovative, creative product to the marketplace, and we need to attract more customers to our organization. And the next thing is about diversifying business. What do you know about the diversifying business? Diversifying business is we are providing different types of products and services. We are engaging different types of business activities. Then we can reduce the risk level of the organization. And cost cutting is about reducing unnecessary expenses. So, when consolidations are occurred within the marketplace, we need to follow these activities. If not, it will negatively affect for our organization. So, the changes which are occurred within the competitive business environment create different types of impact to different businesses. We have already discussed about the competitiveness of marketplace, and according to competitiveness, we know that we can identify different types of marketplaces, and also the changes occurred within competitive business environment create different types of impact toward the business organizations. We learn about them and we discuss about them. And now we are going to pay our attention to Porter's 5 force model. Porter's 5 forces model is introduced by Michael Porter. In this model, he tried to outline 5 forces. What are these forces? Look at this diagram. In this model, you can identify 5 forces. The first thing is about potential entrance. It means the threat of new entrance. The next force is buyers. It is about the bargaining power of buyers. The third force is about substitutes. It means it is about the threat of substitutes. The fourth force is about suppliers. It means the bargaining power of suppliers. And the last one, the fifth one, it is about industry competition. It means the rivalry among existing firms. Through this five forces model, Michael Porter explained that these five forces useful to determine the profitability of an industry. He have mentioned that the collective strength of those five forces is favorable. A business will be able to earn acceptable or average return on their investment. And the unfavorability of these five forces create a business to have a low or unpredictable return. In your textbook, the page number 29 clearly explain about all these things regarding the five force model of introduced by Michael Porter. So that is why this model known as Porter's five force model. Okay, now we are going to learn about all these five forces in detailed manner. You can see a table. In this table, I include three columns as force type. The next one is description and the last one is about strategies to adopt. In force type column, I have included all the five forces. And in the description column, I will describe about each force in an detailed manner. And the last column, strategies to adopt. In that situation, as a businessman, what are the strategies which we can adopt will be explained. So, let us identify about the first strategy, first force type. The first force is the bargaining power of suppliers. Here, it is a situation where supplier has more control or power over its customers. So what do you think about it? A situation where supplier has more control or power? Let's assume like this. We are conducting a manufacturing company. So, when we are buying some raw materials from one of our suppliers, if they have more power, it means we are buying a main raw material from a certain supplier. So, if they are the one and only organization who are providing that type of materials, they have more power. Then they try to increase their prices of their products. Then, if we don't have any other options, then we need to buy that raw material from that company according to their prices, according to their conditions. So they have more control. So when the bargaining power of suppliers increase, a company can follow backward vertical integration. In the 6th chapter, we are going to discuss about those strategies in detailed manner, but here you need to have just a rough idea, okay? So, they can follow a backward vertical integration. in backward vertical integration, we suggest that the company is going to acquire that supplier, that supplier's organization, that supplier's company, or else the company can start up their own business in order to gain that specific raw material. There are two options in backward vertical integration. The firm can acquire the supplier, or else they can start their own business in order to gain that raw material. Look at the next force. It is about the bargaining power of buyers. Previously we discussed about the bargaining power of suppliers, and here it is about the bargaining power of buyers. It is a situation where customers or buyers has more control or power over its suppliers. It is a situation where customers or buyers has more control or power over its suppliers. Then a company can follow forward vertical integration. Okay, let's assume that. Again, I will explain this with an example. We are conducting a manufacturing company. So, if our customers have more power, then we need to provide our products according to their prices, because their bargaining power is higher. So, a company can follow forward vertical integration. What do you mean by forward vertical integration? Previously we discussed about backward vertical integration, and here we are highlighting forward vertical integration. In your textbook, page number 29, they have included two important examples. Let's look at these examples. The first example, listen carefully. A car manufacturer might set up its own dealership. They are going to set up their own dealers. For example, it could encourage other businesses to set up in its customers' market to reduce the power of existing customers. And there is another example. A company can make it expensive for customers to switch to another supplier. It means if we are providing a unique product, then they cannot find substitute for that product easily, so that it is somewhat difficult for our customers to switch to another supplier, to another company. There are no any other options if we are providing a specific product. Here in your textbook, they have explained this with another example. For example, they mention that one-way games console manufacturers keep up the price of computer game for their machines, and they gain a royalty fee for that. So, by making them technically incompatible with other computers, they gain the more power. In other words, it is that game is not work in other computers. That game only work in their computers. Okay, I will again explain it with another example. Think that Dell laptop providers, they are introducing a new computer game, but it is only work in their Dell laptops, in their Dell PCs. So, likewise, if a firm provide a product special product. If there are no other substitutes, they can gain the more powers than the buyers. So, forward vertical integration is a strategy to adapt in a situation like that. The next phase is the threat of new entrants. Look at this table. If the profit in an industry rise too much, new suppliers attract more and undercut the prices of existing suppliers. What do you mean by that? Do you have any idea regarding this description? The threat of new entrants. For an example, again think like that. Okay, let's assume like this. Nowadays, think that there's a huge demand for sweets products. So in that industry, now there is a huge demand in sweets products. As demand is high, the existing firms in that industry gain high profits. By hearing that now new organizations, new suppliers are also entered toward that industry, and they are also trying to get more profit just like the existing firms. Then when there are so many suppliers, then the production increase, in the marketplace. Then the buyers can buy different types of more and more sweet products. Then what will happen for the price? Price decrease because there are so many suppliers from that product. Then when these prices of the products are decreasing, profits are also decreasing. In here, I have described it like this. If the profit in an industry rise too much, new suppliers attract more. I told you that through example. And undercut the price of existing suppliers. When so many new suppliers are entered to the same industry, then the existing firms need to reduce their prices. Then what will happen for the profit level? Then profit is reduced. What are the strategies that they can follow? I mean, for the existing firms, existing suppliers, what are the strategies that they can follow? Here, I have mentioned an important strategy. It is erecting barriers to entry to the industry. If new entrants are easily entered if new companies easily enter to a certain industry, then it will affect for existing suppliers. But if it is somewhat difficult to enter to a certain industry, then they cannot come to that industry and sell their products. Oligopoly, monopoly are gaining high profits due to they are creating high barriers to enter to that industry. That is why they gain lots of profits. That is why they create lots of profit, because the competition is low. When easily other firms are entered to a marketplace, to a certain industry, the competition increase. Substitute products are increased. Then the prices of the products are decreased and profit levels goes decrease. So that the existing firms try to erecting barriers to entry to the industry. The next force type is substitutes. What do you mean by that? Having more substitutes for a product? Under the description column, I have explained it like this. Having more substitutes for a certain type of product faces the competitive pressure. It increases the competitive pressure. Why is that? There are so many substitutes for our product. We are providing a certain type of product and there are so many other substitutes for our product within the marketplace. Then the competitive pressure increases. Then what are the strategies which we can follow in order to adapt this force? To reduce the negative impact of this force? Then we need to make products with few substitutes or no substitutes. Making products with few substitutes or no substitute is the strategy, the best strategy to adapt in order to face this force. It means we need to do more and more research and developments. We need to do some innovations. We need to be very creative in order to make our product as a unique one within the marketplace. The last force is about the rivalry among existing firms. Here it described like this. The degree of rivalry among existing firms in an industry. It means if there is a huge competition within the marketplace, it is also not so good for a firm. It will also affect in a negative manner. The impact is not so good. Then what are the strategies that we can adopt in order to face this force? Here I have mentioned two major strategies. The first one, forming cartels. The next one, engaging in anti-competitive practices. What do you know about forming cartels? Cartels? Do you heard about that word before? Cartel means a group of business that act together to reduce competition within a certain market. They can do that by fixing prices. For an example, in oligopoly markets, we can identify that there are only few businesses. So, they are interdependent on other companies. It means if there are 4 companies in an oligopoly market, they all work like a team. It means they think what is the suitable price to gain from their customers. They fix the prices by having discussions. And the other option is engaging in anti-competitive practices. Here, the firms, I will explain about anti-competitive practices like this. Actually, they are illegal, but they are not uncommon things. They are very common. For an example, we can identify price fixing, going for deals, contracts with the competitors and agreements with the competitors. They are anti-competitive practices. Most of the time they are illegal because it is also differ according to countries. So anyhow, in order to face the rivalry among existing firms follow these strategies. So you need to know about the Potter's 5 forces model and about all these forces and what is the meaning of each forces and what are the strategies that you can adopt in order to face those forces. You need to have a clear idea about regarding this model. So you in some exam practice questions and in your exam they may provide some case studies where you need to apply this model and you need to suggest strategies to adopt. So you need to clearly remember all these 5 forces and strategies to adopt. So let's move toward the exam practice case study. This case study is about the retailing industry in Vietnam. So you need to read this case study carefully and they have provided some charts as well. So they provide in the figure 5 they provided the Vietnam GDP, the increase in how the GDP increased in Vietnam in between year 2008 to 2016. Likewise, they have provided some graphs regarding the interest rates as well. And look at the questions that they have provided under this case study. Under the first question, they ask that explain one reason. Okay, you need to remind that. Keep in mind, you need to explain only one reason. For what? Why there are changes in competitive environment of the Vietnam retail industry. You need to explain only one reason why there are changes in competitive environment of Vietnam. In which industry? In retail industry. The next question is about discuss how Potter's 5-force analysis might be used by an established business in Vietnam retail market. Here you need to use your knowledge regarding the Potter's 5-force analysis. They ask that discuss how Potter's 5-force analysis might be used. Might be used by whom? An established business in Vietnam retail market. So they have allocated 8 marks for this question. And the last question, they ask you to evaluate whether or not the success of Hanoi style is the result of a question A is external influences or question B is internal influences. Now you know about the business internal environment and business external environment. Through that you can identify the influences are arise from externally or internally, so that you need to evaluate or not the success, whether or not the success of Hanoi style is result from external influence or internal influences. So they allocate 20 marks for this question. Remember that it is about evaluating external influences or internal influences. I will read this question again. Evaluate whether or not the success of Hanoi style is the result of external influence or internal influence. Read the questions carefully. Pay your attention toward the commanding words and the marks allocated in each question, and then read the case study carefully and underline the important factors related to each question. So try to write answers for this case study by yourself and Today I will stop the lesson. So from this chapter we able to finish the first part of the unit 3. It means business objectives and strategies. Under that section we completed the all 4 topics. So let's meet with the new lesson from the next video. Thank you.